welcome you all to the West Valley City Council meeting. Let the roll call show that Council members Vincent and Russian have asked to be excused this evening. And we have Councilmember Don Christensen, who will be doing our opening ceremony tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. July 1st through 3rd, 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg was fought. It resulted in 46,000 casualties and deaths on both sides of the battle, and they were almost equally divided. On November 19th, President Lincoln dedicated the Gettysburg National Cemetery. Tonight, I have 8-year-old Michael Rasmussen, a third grader at Hunter Elementary School, who will recite for us the famous speech given by President Lincoln at that time. Michael?
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln, November 19, 1863.
Thank you, Michael. With youth like that, our country can't go wrong.
That's right. Well done, Michael. Very, very impressive. And because you did such a good job, you're welcome to a slice of pie out there in the hall before you leave, or even a slice of pizza if they have any left. So thank you. Very impressive. We come to item 4 tonight, which is our special recognitions. And we wanted to recognize Lars Nordfeldt with us today, a candidate for the West Valley City Council. Also, Nisha Christensen, that represents this area on the Utah Transit Authority Board of Trustees. And we just also, speaking of candidates, want to mention we have a couple candidates up here on the dais. Karen Lang, a candidate for mayor, and Steve Bueller, a candidate for City Council in District 2. Item 5 tonight is our minutes. September 24th is what we're looking at. Team, is there anyone who would like to make a motion there?
I'll move for approval of the minutes.
Thank you both. Any discussion there? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes stand approved. Some of you, as you came in, may have noticed the food out in the hall, and certainly you can't miss the silhouettes there in the hall. And those silhouettes represent those in our city who have died due to domestic violence since we became a city. And we just had a brief event there, and we'll make that formal at this point by proclaiming The month of October 23rd is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'll read that now. Whereas the month of October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and whereas we ask that those who are survivors and victims of domestic violence homicides be remembered, and whereas the lives of women, men, children, extended family, and communities continue to be negatively impacted by domestic violence, and whereas the crime of domestic violence is not confined to any group or groups of people, but crosses all racial and socioeconomic segments of our society, and whereas domestic violence hurts everyone, and whereas we as a community must recognize the scope of this social problem and work together to create a community which does not tolerate domestic violence, and whereas it is up to us as a community to teach our children and to expand the awareness of domestic violence by education, prevention, and outreach, and whereas we encourage all West Valley City residents to take a stand against domestic violence in their personal relationships and in their community, now therefore we, the Mayor and City Council of West Valley City, Utah, do hereby proclaim and recognize October 2013 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Thank you. We come to the point of our agenda where we recognize any scouts that are with us tonight. And I see a group that slipped in. Let's see, who's the higher ranking boy of you two? Okay, can you come up to the microphone please and tell us what your troop number is and what badge you're working on?
Sorry we're late. Our troop number is 96 and we're working on the community badge.
Citizenship and community?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And where do you guys live? What school do you live by?
Whittier.
Whittier Elementary. Okay, great. Well, welcome. Good to have you both here. 2 future Eagle Scouts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, gentlemen. We come to item 7A, which is our comment period. First, we have public comments. I don't know if we have anyone who signed up tonight. Is there anyone who didn't sign up who would like to tell us what's on their mind? Okay. As the West Jordan Council meeting South Jordan one last week, and they had 42 people come to the comment period. So I'm grateful that we're not always bombarded like that. 7B, Mr. City Manager, any comments on your end?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Council members, any comments from any of you? Okay. We'll go to item 8A tonight. And we have a public hearing. This is regarding application S-16-2013 related to ordinance 13-39. Mr. Pyle, if you could introduce this for us, please.
Thank you, sir, and I'll make a couple of introductory comments to all 3 of the public hearings as they're all related, all of the different items. We have before us 3 vacation requests from UDOT for various lots in 3 different subdivisions that fall along the proposed Mountain View corridor and where they're doing work there. Specific to the first public hearing, which we are about to open, we are considering vacation of lots 901 through 916 of the Jonesdale number 9 subdivision along 3745 South and 5800 West. And as we're considering each one of these items, Mayor, I'm going to have Jake bring up a picture,
Great.
overhead picture of the site.
Okay, so this one here is 1339, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I have my laser pointer. Just point out to the audience. If you want to have one.
If you see the red line around, it's basically all the lots around Masters Court, Masters Circle there.
Okay. I'm colorblind, so my reds and greens.
Oh,
So I don't see a big red line, so I
Right,
apologize for
no
the
problem.
ignorance there.
Pardon me.
No problem. Okay, with that being the case, we now open the public hearing regarding application S-16-2013. Thank you, Jake. I can actually see it now. Which is related to ordinance 1339. Is there anyone here tonight who's come to speak on this issue? Anybody? Okay, seeing none, I close the public hearing and turn it over to the council for their discretion. Council, what would you like to do with this ordinance?
I would move acceptance of ordinance number 13-39.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any discussion here? Okay, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Appears to be unanimous. Mr. Pyle, let's introduce the next one, please. This is application number SV-5-2013, which is related to ordinance 1340.
Thank you, sir. So same project, lots 14 through 21 of the Golden Hilltop Estates, Phase 1 subdivision, located at 5860 West and 4300 South.
You're going to tell me there's a red line around this one, too.
There, so if you see the cul-de-sac.
Actually, I can kind of see it there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ward
you see it.
Circle, all right.
Right, so it's basically the lots around Ward Circle there.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who's come to speak on this matter? I hereby open the public hearing. Okay, seeing none, I close the public hearing. And council, what's your discretion on this one?
Mayor, I'll move for approval of ordinance 13-40.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I notice on this one, at least from the picture, there are still homes on this property. Have they been purchased by UDOT or in the process thereof?
They're in the process, and all of the homes that are around Ward Circle have been demolished at this point, with the exception of one, at least at the time of the bringing forth of the issue paper and the application.
Okay, thank you.
Google Images gets a little slow, or
Yeah.
gets a little behind, I guess.
Well, I noticed on the previous one, they had all been removed, so.
Okay, no, great question. Okay, let's see, any other questions or comments? And we did have a motion on this one. Just a quick comment for the scouts or other visitors. We may seem to go rather quickly, but one of the reasons is we have a study meeting or a work meeting each Tuesday afternoon where we review all the items that will be on the next week's agenda. And that gives us a week to think about things or drive out and check things out personally if we need to. And so if we clip along here pretty good, it's not because we don't think about these big issues, it's because we already have been thinking about these big issues. And obviously some issues are a little more controversial than others. These tonight maybe won't be. Okay, I'll call the question then. All in favor of approving ordinance 1340, please say aye.
Aye.
That also appears to be unanimous. Next is application SV-4-2013. This is in relation to ordinance 1341. Mr. Pyle?
Thank you, sir. So this vacation relates to lots 321 through 332 in the also in the Golden Hilltops Estate subdivision, phase number 3, along Golden Arrow Cove. All of these homes have been demolished as of this point.
Okay, of course, those of you who have seen along that Mountain View corridor and that power corridor have seen there's been a lot of construction activity. Let me open the public hearing first on this item. Again, application SV-4-2013. Is there anyone that's come to speak on this matter? Okay, seeing none, I close the public hearing and turn it back over to the council.
I move for approval of 1341.
Second.
Thank you both. Any discussion here? Okay, all in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Sounds unanimous. The Mountain View corridor will continue through our city at this rate. We have another resolution tonight, 13-146. Mr. Pyle?
Thank you, sir. We're recommending a resolution awarding a construction contract to Ralph L. Wadsworth Company for the purpose of constructing a bridge across the Jordan River. We received 4 bids for the project, and Wadsworth was the lowest responsible bidder.
Okay, thank you. Council, any motions or discussion on this one?
Just know that the majority of the funds were allocated to us by the legislature.
We appreciate them stepping up to help make this possible. We probably don't have anything to show the scouts tonight. I just thought in the spirit of those who are here for a relatively short meeting, maybe it behooves us to show them, but we're probably not prepared to do so, I would guess. So I'll tell them a little bit instead for the scouts and other young people or other interested people. The first pioneers west of the Jordan River came about 3,300 south in the Jordan River. They crossed right over there by the Utah Cultural Celebration Center, if you've ever been there. And we've been working closely with our West Valley Historical Society a number of years on a bridge, a pioneer crossing memorial bridge. that would go over the Jordan River to celebrate where those first pioneers came to the west side. And it will also link the Jordan River Parkway with our Cultural Celebration Center campus. So we're really excited to see that happen this fall, and as part of the celebration for the 10th anniversary of our Utah Cultural Celebration Center. So when that bridge is done, that'll be a good scout field trip to go check out that historic site right in our city and bounce on the bridge a bit and toss a rock or stick into the Jordan River and kind of enjoy that area. Just don't fall in.
And don't cross it the way the pioneers did, because they crossed it on foot.
That's right. They crossed on the ice in the winter of 1848 and 49. So we'll cross it with a nice new suspension bridge.
Right.
Instead. Very good. Okay, so we've had some discussion on this. Is there anyone who'd like to make a motion?
I would move for approval of Resolution 13-146.
Second.
Okay, thank you both. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
That also sounds like it would be unanimous, and we look forward to seeing that bridge get underway here. Item 10 tonight on our agenda is a motion for...
Mayor, before we go to executive session or anything like that, we noticed some other scouts come in. Are they all part of the same troop? Good. Thank you. You've already been introduced then, so nobody has to worry about coming up.
They seem to like each other. They all clump together anyways. If you sat on the other side of the room, we maybe wouldn't believe you, but we do appreciate scouts coming, and even on nights like tonight, we have a short council agenda. Okay, so item 10. Any need for executive session this evening? Okay, seeing none, then we go to item 11, which is to adjourn this meeting.